It's the year 1994, and Malawi is going through great transformation in governance, which in the end brings historic changes in the country's economy. So far, Malawi's economy is agro-based, and the most significant economic activity is the annual tobacco auction market. In accordance with Capital Markets Development Act of 1990 and the Capital Market Development Regulations of 1992, Malawi experienced an economic transformation and a revolution. The Malawi Stock Exchange was born.
The Malawi Stock Exchange started in 1994. The genesis in terms of actually the origination of the Malawi Stock Exchange is basically on the adoption of the structural adjustment programs which the Malawi government adopted in 1990. You know, before the 1990, the Malawi economy was operating, I would say, in terms of a controlled economy. But then with the structural adjustment programs is when actually we started liberalizing actually the financial market. One of actually the area in terms of liberalization of the financial market, which is actually a component of the structural adjustment programs, is actually to establish the capital market by establishing the Malawi Stock Exchange. And this started with the enactment of the Capital Market Development Act, which was actually in 1990. Now, having developed the Capital Market Development Act in 1990, in terms of the implementation as well as operation of the capital market, is when we had the Malawi Stock Exchange in 1994. However, from 1994 to 1996, the Malawi Stock Exchange was dormant in the sense that it was only government instruments which were being traded. Now, a full operation of the stock market actually started in 1996 when we saw the listing of NICO. At that time, this time around, we call it NICO Holdings Limited.
The establishment of Malawi Stock Exchange opened up opportunities for the country to have access to capital markets, eventually seeing the country move from relying on savings alone for capital.
Basically, the Malawi Stock Exchange plays two major roles. The first role is really in terms of providing a platform where companies can come and raise capital. On the other side, the Malawi Stock Exchange also provides a market where investors can buy new shares or sell shares. So as a result of these two critical roles, the Malawi Exchange also plays some sub-roles. And these roles include monitoring the market, providing overall surveillance, and also monitoring the conduct of the member institution. These include the members that are of the stock exchange, the stockbrokers. There are currently 4 of them, but also supervising the conduct of the listed companies to ensure that they're providing all the information necessary to investors. On top of this, the Malawi Stock Exchange will also provide information to the public and to stakeholders. This information is provided through our mailing list, where we send out reports on the trading activities of that day, but we also produce reports that are weekly, monthly, quarterly, as well as annual reports. In general, those are the roles that the Malawi Stock Exchange plays.
NICO Holdings was the first to list on Malawi Stock Exchange. 20 years later, Malawi Stock Exchange has a listing of 13 companies. A normal day at Malawi Stock Exchange starts with preparations in the morning, getting ready for that day's trading. When the bell rings at 10:30 a.m., action begins.
BHL bid 1290.
Bid 1290.
FMB offer 1850.
Offer 1850.
1850.
3 million. The condition at least 1 million.
Lenovo bid 15,000. Offer 15,500.
Offer 15,500.
Yeah, but we want to.
The stage was set in 1996. Malawi Stock Exchange is operational.
My name is Frank Harawa. I'm a shareholder of several companies on the Malawi Stock Exchange. I started dealing in shares in 2006 until now, and I've got stocks in almost all the counters on the Malawi Stock Exchange. People, they say when you buy shares you lose your money, and that's a myth that goes around in this country, but that's not even true. Even in other countries like America, people make billions through their stock exchanges there, and in Malawi it's the same thing. The issue is that you need to know when to buy and when to sell. You buy shares when it's low, you grow with them, and then after you may sell. It could be short-term or long-term investments. So you only lose your money if you sell through maybe under panic and so forth. But otherwise, the stock market, mostly we make money. I've never really lost money on the stock market.
The population, however, is not fully on board.
Not everyone has got shares, and mostly shares are owned by rich people in Malawi. We would say that.
Most people don't know how shares work. If Malawi Stock Exchange can at least tell Malawians, but if you buy shares, this is how the money works. Most of the people don't know what dividends even is. Right now, what's dividends? You just say, what's that? So they need to explain much more about shares, what shares can help them do. If they buy shares, how they'll get money out of those shares.
I'm not too rich, and I know old women, I know young men, I know university students that have got shares on the stock exchange. The issue is not about being rich. I think the issue is just knowledge about the Malawi Stock Exchange. So anybody can buy shares on the Malawi Stock Exchange. Or you come in and you buy your shares maybe through your brokers, maybe you buy 10M. When you buy those shares, you become a part owner of that company. That company becomes yours. And once you become a part owner of that company, then for you to make money, you share in their dividends. They will give you dividends. These are the profits of the company, that the company, after they've made their profits, they will say, let's share this. So those are the dividends. So people make money, first of all, through dividends that are distributed to all the shareholders of that company, all the part owners of that company. Secondly, you make your money by capital gains. Remember, you buy this share, let's say at 2 kwacha, and the share goes up to 20 kwacha, to 50 kwacha, and that's per share. Therefore, the money you've made there is, we call it that's capital gain, because you bought at 2 kwacha, now you're selling it maybe at 20 kwacha, 40 kwacha, it depends. So that's the second way of making money on the Malawi Stock Exchange. And yes, people are making money on the Malawi Stock Exchange. One can buy shares with almost any amount. You can buy shares with 10,000 kwacha, you can buy shares with 20,000 kwacha, and then you begin to accumulate your shares, because these shares they are selling at, let's say, at 2 kwacha. Some of them they are now at, I think the lowest now is at 5 kwacha something, and the highest it should be now 1,000 something, which is Old Mutual. So you can buy all these shares. I've seen people buying 100 shares. I've seen people buying 2,000 shares. So you can buy any quantity of shares. It's not necessary that you start with the huge sums of money. It's not necessary. You can start with small sums of money, and then you add up. I think one thing with that, the good part of that is that you begin to understand the stock market better. You begin to get more information about what the stock market is, how these companies work. You begin to attend the AGMs of these companies. You begin to know how to debate these issues, because any shareholder is supposed to attend the annual general meetings of these companies, of all the companies. I'm talking about the Brand Hotels, Sunbelt, NBS. You have to attend these AGMs. You have to question your directors what they are doing. You have to vote at the AGM. So in buying slowly, you begin to understand, you accumulate knowledge about the stock market, and then eventually, if you want more money, you can buy with huge volumes. But even small volumes is a good thing. And the good part of small volumes is that, let's say if you are in your 50s and you want to buy for your children, can you imagine 20 years later, if you bought them for your children, you're already making millionaires in your house. You buy sorry for them, and these children, they'll become millionaires because of time. So you can buy for yourself and also buy for your children.
Players in the Malawi Stock Exchange are taking measures to address this situation.
So as the stock exchange, we're also involved in financial literacy programs, which we do hand in hand with the Reserve Bank. In these programs, we go to rural areas, as far as rural areas, where we're talking to the typical Malawian who doesn't have a lot of information in terms of the investment assets that are available in the market or even how they work. So this is one of the ways where we're trying to reach out to make sure that we develop the capital market. We also rely on our brokers as well, who are in touch with the various investors, to share with them the sort of information that as investors they should have to make informed decisions. With the brokers, we have a very good relationship with them. Normally after trading hours, we'll sit down, we'll discuss market developments, we'll give each other guidance in terms of how we can together develop the capital market, especially through increasing financial literacy. So we really encourage them to say that once they have been approached by an investor, they should really take the time to understand their investor, and so that they can advise their investors appropriately in terms of which assets they should be investing in, even if they should be investing in the stock exchange.
This is what we've done to ensure that clients are participating in the stock market. One, by handling their inquiries. We have numerous inquiries every day coming from various clients, and we ensure that all these inquiries are responded to. The other method is also where we hold meetings with various clients. Sometimes we've been invited to offices just to explain what is required for people to participate in the stock market. We have clients who would want to list one day, and they are looking for that information. We have also clients who would want to invest in the stock market. We've used those meetings to provide and clarify issues to do with stock market.
The Malawi Stock Exchange has a modest number of 13 counters on its list. 13 is the number to be shown after 20 years of operation.
During the formative years, our board was actually, the official board, was concentrating on actually what we call blue chip companies, which are large companies. However, the stock market, having realized that it's the market to cater for a wider spectrum of industries, we introduced what we call the alternative capital market. The alternative capital market is basically trying to address the needs of small and medium enterprise, those who may not meet the requirements of the official board. For example, they may not have the 3-year profit history. Now, with the alternative capital market, you don't need the profit history.
There are several avenues that can provide a platform for those who would like to raise capital. But such platforms must be based on transparency and fair trade for the benefit of all those who participate. Malawi Stock Exchange is the most reliable capital market. The future of capital market in Malawi is Malawi Stock Exchange.
We should be in a position, actually, instead of going through the brokers, with your money under either Airtel money under Mpamba, one should be in a position to invest in the stock market. So what it entails that instead of concentrating, because our brokers are basically in our cities or urban centers, but with now the electronic trading platform, it entails that we can open up to a wider spectrum of individuals or investors in Malawi, which means one would be in a position to invest on the stock market even if it's interleaded. One would be in a position to invest in the stock market even if it is in Imaraka, in Usacha. One would be actually to invest on the stock market even if actually somebody is actually down in Konjeni in Cholo, or somewhere else actually in the Muloza in the Mulanje or Palombe. So instead of somebody just walking in where the stockbroker is with the infrastructure trading platform, what it entails that we can have now other products which would be framed in the sense that at least using the mobile money, one should be in a position actually to invest on the stock market. Those are the other avenues whereby in terms of the stock market is looking at, so that at least we can embrace more Malawians, more investors into our stock market, other than having a walk-in investor on the stock market.
The future of capital market in Malawi is now. It's time to be part of the homegrown platform for raising capital and investing. Be part of the future by listing and investing on Malawi Stock Exchange.